Welcome home, brave heroes. I am Ash, this is HeroQuest, and today I'm very proud and excited to be releasing my very first video. The year is 1992, and what a glorious year it is. I anticipate many good things to come from this year, and also I'm so glad the 80s are finally over, have been over, the lingering effects finally wearing off. What a strange and surreal decade. Almost nothing good came from the 80s except myself in 84, thank you to Mum and Dad, and also a very fun game that I managed to pick up and get on with, HeroQuest. And today I'm very happy to be using my equipment, which I just procured, spent a ton of pounds on it actually, and I'm going to be unboxing a new edition of this HeroQuest game. That's right. We're going to be unboxing HeroQuest Advanced Quest. This is a brand new version of the game. It is for ages 10 to adult. It can be played with 2 to 5 players, and it comes with 12 additional Citadel miniatures plus a new 13-stage advanced quest. This is one of the finest games that I think we've ever gotten here in Britain. Great Britain, and clearly we have the superior version. I know that the Yanks got a version as well, but it is more focused on fighting, which is what they do best, and combat and clashing and all of that. And this one has a fair amount of fighting in it as well, but it is much more focused on exploration, and it is much more suitable for younger audiences who may wish to just kind of get on with it and make their way through the dungeon. Anyway, we are going to be using my lovely new piece of technology. It is a very high fidelity advanced equipment called a VHS camcorder, and it will record onto a very high fidelity medium called a VHS, which can be played, of course, on a VCR. If you are keeping up with the Joneses, as they say, then you won't be surprised by any of this. It won't be news to you. You'll be, like me, at the forefront of modern technology. I'm very pleased also that my camcorder has a mounted microphone into which I can speak. It makes things much easier. I only wish that I could show you. It is also the height of convenience that my camcorder also has a mounted microphone, so very convenient, very advanced. We'll get on with the unboxing. First we will turn this around just to see what's on the bottom, and I must be careful because there are a number of plastic and paper components on the inside that could probably be damaged if I continue to invert the box in such a manner. Yes, and just going over the stats, 47 detailed Citadel miniatures. We all know Citadel are professionals in the art of sculpting, 14 exciting quests, a 3D dungeon game board, and a new 13-stage advanced quest. This advanced quest is sure to be a challenge for HeroQuest players, young and old. And we have a bit of a preview of what the advanced quest could look like down here in the screenshot on the back. Props to you if you could identify exactly which quest this is. Without having looked into the advanced quest booklet or quest guide or whatever it is that this comes with, I would be very interested to know if this is at all even a quest that is included in it. Sometimes the makers like to sort of mock together a quest that's not really even in the game, but it does make for a lot of fun to recreate the sort of presentation quest and challenge it to see if it is particularly fun or interesting. The sidebar here reads, "Take up the challenge of HeroQuest and enter the underground realm of Morcar, the evil wizard, one of the finest sorcerers in the world. There are great treasures to be won and grim monsters to defeat in this lavish game of magical adventure. Each game is a unique challenge set in a different underground stronghold. Explore unlit passages and venture into darkened rooms, but beware, for within the shadows await the servants of Morcar. Deadly traps will claim the careless, and only true champions can survive in the domain of chaos. Can you survive in the world of HeroQuest and emerge a champion, or will you, like so many before, descend into the darkness never to return? HeroQuest now contains a new challenge, a new enemy, the Dark Company. This extended advanced quest will test even the greatest of champions. The large fold-out booklet will be your ultimate test. I see now that this is going to be a challenge indeed. Let us all hail Hasbro UK on Caswell Way in Newport, Gwent. And do be advised, this does conform to UK safety regulations. We lift the lid and we remove it. And we keep in mind that I did procure this not quite second hand. I suppose second hand is the technical term, but I procured it from someone who previously had already removed all of the plastic features from their sprues. We have the HeroQuest Advanced Quest Edition, the Dark Company sort of scenario. Very, very cool, very glossy. My lights seem to reflect off of it. I foresee in the near future a way for creators to use their light set up in such a way that it won't shine off of things. Surely this will not be a permanent problem. And when we open this book, we are greeted with the brand new content that tells us about the Dark Company. Introduction. We recommend you play this 13-part advanced quest after you've played all or most of the adventures contained in the quest book. You'll then be ready to do battle with the Dark Company. When playing the advanced quest, all the standard HeroQuest rules apply, although a number of differences outlined below make this a considerably more challenging adventure. Oh, and some of those new rules, as you can see here, are between stages. Character players do not return to their full strength between stages, nor can the elf and wizard replenish their spells. Oh my. Beginning a new stage, character players enter the next stage of the adventure by passing through the same door which marked the end of the last stage. The first character player moves through the door, at which point the evil wizard player should place onto the game board everything the character player can see. You can re-enter a stage previously played if you like. There are Dark Company warriors. You can now bring your 12 Dark Company warriors into play. These monsters work like other monsters, but whenever the evil wizard player places a Dark Warrior onto the board, he can arm his Dark Warrior in one of 4 ways depending on the weapons available. So we get some customization on how to place our monsters. This is a very interesting mechanic. And Dark Warriors in combat. The Dark Warriors are an elite group of fighters who can defend in a special way. Roll the required number of dice shown as normal, and as long as you roll at least 1 round Black Shield, the Dark Warrior defends successfully and remains unharmed. Oh, that's going to be quite a challenge for players young and old alike. The Doom Guard. The Chaos Warriors in this adventure are members of Morkar's elite regiment, the Doom Guard. These monsters defend in the same way as the Dark Warriors. They need to only roll 1 round Black Shield to defend against any number of skulls rolled by an attacker. So there are our Dark Company warriors, monsters, as they are, and the Doom Guard. The Doom Guard. 1 body point on the Doom Guard, however. So this actually folds upwards and away, and I don't wish to spoil too much of what this quest actually has, but all of the notes that you need to play the quest are here on the left side. All of the actual sections of the quest, the segments, if you will, are here on the right, and the outlined different colors of the board here represented tell you what section of the quest you are in. This is a 13-part quest, and there are 4 boards illustrated, but only a fool would think that they would need 4 copies of this game to play this quest, because this only comes with 1 board. So that is the advanced quest. Now, if you haven't played HeroQuest before, you haven't bought it before, this is still a very valid purchase because it contains the base game as well. This is not something that you buy on top of your already acquired HeroQuest game. This is a fantastic basic package for you to buy that has hours and hours of content. And we have our fabulous Morcar screen, which details for the evil wizard player all of the different keys for furniture, all the different symbols that represent the markings on the map, so you can easily place things down or identify them, because you play the role of Morcar, and you will be the one building these dungeons and placing things down using the included bits and bobs. And that includes, everything is pre-packaged here for my convenience, I see. I really enjoy that. Props to whoever did that. Kudos on you. We have treasure chests already assembled, 3 of them. A small number of rats and skulls, which we may affix onto different pieces of furniture if we like. We have a set of scales, I believe those are. We have door bases. Yes, here we are. We have the doors themselves. Now, this I found to be very, very entertaining. You can take the top part of the door, you can take the base of the door, and you just stick them together like so. Now, I don't think that this will ever be replaced. This is truly the peak of doors in games. Don't worry about that rubbish, that advanced Hero Quest. That's completely different. Plastic doors that broke right off their hinges. Waste of money. Pish posh, poppycock. Obviously, we have included the rules of play and the quest book. The rules of play will teach you, budding Morcar or servant of Morcar, how to set up and play a game of HeroQuest, and also serves as a fantastic reference to your hero players who will constantly be confused by some of the vagueness and be needing to refer to the booklet to argue about the rules. But you'll have none of that at your table. You are Morcar. You run the game. You will tell them how the rules are to be, and no one will be able to tell you otherwise. This is the quest book, as mentioned. It gives you a bit of story and then launches you straight into the first quest, the trial. There are some editions of this game locally that start with a different quest at the beginning, but the advanced quest edition starts with the trial, which is a proper challenge in its own right and serves as a gateway, a filter, if you will, to make sure that those faint of heart do not continue coming over to play this game. They will surely die in their characters will die. Not that they will die, not that the actual players will die, but the characters will die. We go on to play other quests such as Legacy of the Orc Warlord, as well as we have the ability to design our own games in the blank squares provided. Lovely condition, lovely. Because it's brand new, I would expect no less. We have a set of beautifully illustrated cards in a perfectly normal size, a very standard size. We have in our possession the water spells for the wizard, and actually the elf as well, in fact, can both cast spells to their liking: air spells, earth spells, fire spells, and we have a plethora of treasure cards to draw from. Some of these treasures are very helpful, such as jewels, in which you find a small wooden box worth 50 gold coins, and others are not so helpful, except to you, Morcar, the wandering monster. As you are busy searching, a monster stalks up on you and attacks. The evil wizard player may place the wandering monster shown in the quest book for this adventure in any square next to you. The monster attacks immediately. Return this card to the treasure pile. As the heroes search for treasure, the treasure cards are pulled from this deck, and if they run into a wandering monster, the monster is returned to the deck, thereby increasing the odds that the players will encounter wandering monsters when they are searching for treasure. We have in our possession as well a number of artifact cards, such as the Orc's Bane. The sword Orc's Bane allows you to roll 2 combat dice in attack. You may attack twice if you are fighting orcs. And a number of monster cards, which detail and outline the abilities and stats for our included monsters in the game. One of the worst monsters and one of the worst things about this game in general is the gargoyle. I don't think that any Brit worth his salt would disagree. This is an abomination. We have a number of equipment cards. The US edition of the basic game came with a sort of cheap cardboard insert that detailed all of the prices and stats of the weapons you could buy, completely skipping the cards aspect. I greatly think that the cards are much more desirable. I don't think anything will happen to this game and it will prolong and survive throughout the decades, but if anything crazy, anything absolutely loony were to happen and the game were to go out of print for whatever reason, this cash cow of Games Workshop, I don't think it'll happen. But if it did, then I can't see that a remake in the future would ignore the aspect of the playing cards. I believe they would bring these back, not the rubbish cardboard insert. Finally, we have cards that represent the. There are many more aspects of this game we should be discussing and exploring, and one of them is the fantastic suite of furniture, miniature furniture that we get to represent the dungeon in which our heroes are adventuring. We have brilliant pieces made of plastic and cardboard, such as the fireplace, the table, the throne, the alchemist's bench, the bookcase, the hero's tomb. I assume this is a hero. A great hero would have a tomb decorated like this. I don't know that it's a monster. It could be a member of the Dark Company. At the sorcerer's table, sadly, my candlestick has broken off. I'm sure nobody else has a problem like this, though. These candlesticks are very rigid. They should stay very, very strong on your miniatures. You don't need to have them left in the box unguarded or anything like that. Can you imagine if the candlesticks broke and one day the candlesticks would be like a commodity? People charging premiums for bits of broken plastic. Next up are the miniatures of the characters themselves, and they are brilliant. This is an orc. He is brilliant. Look at his sword in hand, his battle-ready position, his chainmail underneath his orcish tunic. He is ready to be encountered and slayed. And what's truly brilliant is that we have different sculpts of the orc. We have ball and chain orc, and we have sword orc. Yes, and we have cleaver orc as well. Cleaver. Chop chop. We also have goblins. This is a goblin with an axe. This is a goblin with a sword. Need I say more? Next we have the powerful, the gruesome Fimir. Now these chaps I can see being a sort of mascot, a fan favorite. They'll be in the game for years to come. In fact, if I had to choose one monster to survive the game and be synonymous with it, even to the point that if the game were to be completely remade, then if only one monster survived, it would be this, the Fimir. Incredible beings. Beastly. Cyclopic. Cyclopean. Based on Games Workshop's Warhammer world. We could use more of that influence. We have a selection of undead to throw at our heroes, not literally. Don't throw these playing pieces at your heroes. These playing pieces could be worth quite a lot someday. We have a skeleton, a bit of a skelly that you're watching on the telly. We've got a mummy. Perhaps you have mummy problems. Don't go crying to your mummy. And we have a rotter, a zombie. Very gruesome, very gruesome. This one looks like my granddad. He just looks like this normally. He carries around a giant cleaver, but it's because he's a meat processor. Yes. And this is brilliant and this is so clever. The Dark Company miniatures have holes in them and they lack hands. And then you'll take these pre-sculpted bits, these bobs that have hands on them and weapons and pegs, and you'll push that peg right into that cavity on this Dark Company miniature in order to have this very ready and assembled and customized miniature to place on the board. And if you like him instead to have a long sort of axe, you could do that. You could have this halberdier wielding this halberd instead of the sword and shield, sword and board as the kids like to call it. And if you'd rather him have a broadsword, you can outfit him with the broadsword as well. Something that I like to do that's very fun is you can reverse the position of them and have them basically facing backwards or forwards, and the design will still make sense. Yes, the broadsword. Timeless classic, the broadsword. Sadly, my barbarian sculpt is missing his broadsword. His broadsword is broken, but fantastic sculpt, reminiscent of Robert E. Howard's Conan. I can practically hear this character talking with Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice. We have the elf, and this character originally broke off his base. You can see where we have glued him back onto his feet, so to speak. Now he is able to run about the board again. His sword is still intact. Beautiful sculpt. Brilliant. The wizard and the dwarf, two more brilliant characters. Just brilliant. Brilliant. The gargoyle's here as well, but he's rubbish. Now, me and me mates have already been through and played several games, and so we are missing some of the character sheets. But the character sheets are how you sort of keep track of your statistics for your heroes. We have your name, character, mind, body, tasks completed. You can draw yourself a bit of a sigil here for your own coat of arms. We have 4 large size cards to sort of help each player know how they can play the game, reminders if you will. We have tiles that represent different optional sort of variables on the board, such as caved in rock walls or where the heroes actually begin most of their quests, the staircase, as well as secret doors. Secret doors, yeah, brilliant. Brilliant that they're tiles and not actual doors that stand upright. And right here we have the pit trap. Yes, my Uncle Nestor has a pit trap. He'll put you in a headlock after unwashing for 4 or 5 days, and when you pass out from the stench, he calls it the pit trap. Finally, we have the glorious, beautiful, perfect HeroQuest board, and what a condition this is in. How lovely and brilliantly designed this board was. Some say that some human designed this board, Stephen Baker or some one of those designers at Games Workshop or Milton Bradley Games. But I think this board was designed by divine intervention. Yes, if it's one thing that I think that is most characteristic of this board, it is the boot on this tile. Just a telltale boot. It has so much lore and mystery behind it. Just like the Familiar, if ever they were to remake this game, I believe the boot tile there would be crucial to maintaining proper homage. And now I've been saving the best for last. There is one very particular bit about this game that I like the most. It is the dice. The dice are very particularly designed. They feel great when you are rolling them in your hands. They're very clearly illustrated. There are skulls, human skulls, very scary, on 3 of the 6 sides. There are brave shields, and there are terrifying bunny skulls on 1 out of the 6 sides that represent the monster's ability to sort of mitigate your successful hit and block it or evade it in some way. We also have beautiful red dice with golden pips that, yes, this is more gold than is in the Royal Museum, I think, at least legitimately acquired. And we roll these for movement, and these we roll for combat. So say your hero has to roll 2 dice for combat, they are attacking, they roll successfully 1 skull and 1 shield. And here the shield does not apply, so it's kind of a waste. Your skull applies, the monster rolls for their defense in turn. If the monster has, say, a defense of 2 combat dice, then they'll roll, and if they roll this bunny, that will cancel out the skull that you rolled, thereby negating your successful attack. And then, when it is Morkar's turn, the monster can attack you in kind. And if your hero rolls this shield, it has the same effect as the bunny, and your hero will be protected from attack. And that is my complete unboxing of HeroQuest Advanced Quest Edition. Please let me know what you thought of this by writing your comments down on a paper and putting it in a self-addressed stamped envelope, and you can mail it to the mailing address that will be shown at the end of this video. And you will also see a list of people who have given their pledges to this new show to help it come into existence and be broadcasted onto your telly. The present is an exciting time in which to live, and I look forward to the technological marvels of tomorrow. I also hope you'll join me next time when I unbox a special game that I got from across the pond from one of my Yank friends. We'll be looking at a very niche game called Dragon Strike. That's a lot of fun. I truly think that Dragon Strike will also go on throughout the ages and have several expansions and last for 30 or more years. I've never been wrong about this stuff, but until next time, friends, goodbye for now. Bye. Okay. Peace.